Intel Core Ultra 7 256V 8-core Lunar Lake CPU benchmarks leak out, faster than AMD 8840HS. Benchmarks of Intel's upcoming Lunar Lake CPU, the Core Ultra 7 256V, have leaked out within Geekbench. The Intel Core Ultra 7 256V CPU is part of the upcoming Core Ultra 200V Lunar Lake family and will be one of the fastest SKUs, featuring up to 8 cores based on the Lion Cove P-core and Sky Monte core architectures. Starting with the specifications, there are 8 cores, 4P plus 4E, 8 threads, 12 MB of L3 cache, clocks rated at 2.20 GHz base, up to 4.8 GHz boost, and 16 GB of on-package LPDDR5 x8533 memory. The chip will be equipped with an ARC 140V CPU with up to 8 cores clocked at 1.95 GHz, and the chip will have TDPs configured at 17 watts PL1 and 30 watts PL2. Image source: Intel. The CPU was tested by Lenovo for an upcoming laptop using the balanced power plan. The clock speeds ranged from 4.7 to 4.8 GHz, which is on par with its maximum boost clock of 4.8 GHz. This is not a final retail SKU but rather an engineering sample, so we can expect the final models to feature even better performance than what would be demonstrated here. Image source: Geekbench 6. Coming to the performance numbers, the Intel Core Ultra 7 256V Lunar Lake CPU scored 2,608 points in single-core and 10,506 points in multi-core tests. The single-core performance sees a 10% improvement over the Core Ultra 7 155U and even manages to outperform the AMD Ryzen 7 8840HS, which has a higher 28 watts TDP by default. It manages to beat the Core Ultra 7 155U in multi-thread tests by 11% while leading over the Ryzen chip by 10%. The fact is that Lunar Lake CPUs are rated at much lower TDPs, 17 watts versus the 28 watts plus TDPs of the Phoenix and Hawk Point CPUs tested here. Plus, if you factor in the early nature of this chip, we can expect even better performance, which would be great for thin and light platforms. The Intel Lunar Lake Core Ultra 200V laptop CPUs are expected to launch in September, 2 months after AMD launches its Ryzen i300 Strix platforms.